Hi, this is Brooks with Character Design Forge. I thought I would review with you a few of the characters I was able to work on in this past month, using recorded time lapses of the process done with Procreate, and talk a little about the new rendering style that I'm trying to use, and something I'm doing in order to get characters to look a bit more lifelike, and I'll talk about these characters individually as well. This first character is a koala that I've gone back and forth on a few times in design, but I'm really happy with this version, which returns a lot of the simpler features to him. It's interesting, I think that style isn't something that you should force. You shouldn't be trying to find your style intentionally. A lot of the time, style is made up of the tiny mistakes that you make with your art, and over a long period of time, that grows to be your signature look. And for me, a few things have clicked so profoundly over the last month, even though they're the result of doing this for years. Over a long period of time, I've actually been finding, along with aspects of a visual style, that for me it's actually going to be better if I don't render finished artwork with line art. This Jacqueline illustration is probably familiar to you if you've followed my work, but I'm actually re-rendering it here in order to fall in line with this new style. And really what this rendering involves is taking the final sketch, filling it in with shapes of color, and then using a multiply layer to define out the detail. What ends up happening with this slightly more painterly rendering is the character falls in line with what they look like in my head originally, which is great. I've been making comics and art with line art for a really long time, and I know many people that make beautiful looking line art, but my own line art I've always found to be lacking, and so for now, I'm going to be putting it on hold. Something I've been striving to do better is to give characters better presence and expression, and what's really helped that the most is thinking about one or two people who I know well, friends and family whose personalities I can sort of wrap around the character, and not so much basing the character on them physically, but asking myself how that person would act or express themselves, and then I might merge that with a second person as well. This was really helpful for the Wanderlumen character, who if you're not really careful, could be completely expressionless. The Wanderlumen I've fleshed out just a little from the original version, and I've given him this staff that carries a lantern. Now this is part of a story that I'd like to tell with the character, so I can leave that for another time, but I was happy with the way that the detail came out on this staff. I also made sure to let the lantern light pour onto the character some as well. This parcel character is actually one that I recently made a Character Design Forge video on, but I was kicking myself because this version is really superior to that one. Not only did I forego the line art, the pose is just more natural, and some elements like the hair I'm not really forcing to look like it did previously if it won't work. With a multiply layer, I use a very light color, and depending on the lighting and what complements the character, it will be a light purple or blue. This translates into a darker shade once it's multiplied. If you lock the transparency on these shapes in Procreate or Photoshop and keep it a normal layer as you shade in, it will be easy to see what you've rendered. Procreate on the iPad Pro has become my primary drawing tool, especially because of how easy this technique is to use on there. This character is one that I've put through a lot of iteration, who is still temporarily named Port. Port is a field medic character, and at this point he's actually made of a healing goo, which means that in order to heal others, he kind of needs to give of himself. The colors in this design were really a challenge mostly for that reason. Green is a color already occupied by another character in his ensemble, but using a warm color like a red is an obvious problem because it then looks like blood that he's spraying to heal teammates, which is both gross and confusing. Along with that multiply layer, I did a little extra to make him translucent and goo-like with some jello bubbles in there for good measure. I shared all of these characters and some quick process videos of them on Instagram. You can follow me there at BagelDenizen if you'd like to keep up with recent posts. And I'm looking forward to making more characters in this visual style. That's it for me today. I'm making new videos every week at Character Design Forge. Subscribing on YouTube lets you know when new videos are made available. I also wanted to let you know that my course, Learn Character Design, is actually now on Gumroad. It's the exact same course, over 10 hours of video learning, just on a different platform that's more convenient for some. The link to that is in the description of this video. Otherwise, head over to learncharacterdesign.com to learn more. Thank you for watching, and have fun creating.